Good morning. It's Thursday, and I'm really glad that you chose to join us again here today on Life Renewed. My name's Pastor Mark Booth from Ebenezer Baptist Church and from Life Renewed. We've been talking this week about fear and the great ability that fear has in our lives to draw us into deeper faith and trust with God. How that God uses that fear to take us out of our own box, and how He refuses to stay in a box Himself, the boxes that we draw around Him. We define Him in those ways, and He likes to defy definition. Today we're going to look at the final use of the word fear or afraid in the book of Matthew, and it comes after Christ's death and actually after His resurrection as well. It says that there was an angel, and his appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow, and the guards shook for fear of him and became like dead men. The angel said to the women, however, "Do not be afraid, for I know you're looking for Jesus who has been crucified. He is not here, he is risen, just as he said he would. Come, see the place where he was lying. Go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead, and behold, he is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Behold, I have told you." And the second time in this same story, listen to this. These girls, Mary and Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, these girls get pretty afraid again. And they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy, and ran to report to his disciples. And behold, Jesus met them and greeted them. And they came up and took hold of his feet and worshiped him. And Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and take word to my brethren to leave for Galilee, and there they will see me." We've seen this week, as we've looked at fear, that fear is tough and it's a challenge. Fear stretches us and causes tension, but that tension from fear brings transformation to our lives. Because God definitely loves us where we are, as we are, not as we should be, so that we can become more authentic and as authentic as Christ was. You see, that's transformation. Authenticity in a human being is a transformed human being. We've talked about how that God, when he tears down religious boundaries, when he breaks tradition, it's fearful, it's scary. When he calls us to do that which is radical, it's fearful, it's scary. When he requires of us greater and greater and greater trust, taking our trust from simple trust all the way up to this ruthless trust that we talked about earlier in the week, that he's constantly pressing and pulling us forward, challenging us, drawing us to newer ground, and that is the unknown ground that causes us to be afraid. And today, as we listen to this story of the two Marys, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, we realize again that God is taking these ladies and is about to take his disciples into whole new territory. He had told them before that he was going to rise from the dead, and they couldn't fathom it, I suppose. They couldn't comprehend that it was actually going to take place, having never seen it take place before. He was taking them to new territory. You know, it scares me when God starts taking me to new territory. It worries me. It makes me scared. It causes me to doubt sometimes. And then when I begin to doubt, and when I begin to be afraid, and when I begin to worry, I start thinking, well, I'm not living a good, godly Christian life. Let me share something with you. Godly Christians fear. Godly Christians doubt. And godly Christians overcome it by faith. By faith that says, though I fear, I will move forward. I will allow you to take me to this new territory. Because as he takes us into new territory, as he did with Mary Magdalene in this story and with the other Mary, guess what he's doing? He's taking us to move to the end of ourselves. As a matter of fact, not just move to the end of ourselves, but to move beyond the end of ourselves. Because that is the place of absolute trust. Because when I'm in a place where I can't fix something, I can't take care of something, then my trust becomes pure. It moves from simple trust to intentional trust to ruthless trust, to absolutely pure trust, when God has lovingly drawn me to the end of myself, where I can't handle any of it on my own. As I've said all week long, I really don't know your circumstances and your situation. I can tell you this, that at some point in your life, if it's not happening now, God's going to jump outside of your box, your theological box, your religious box, your comfort zone. He's going to jump out of it, and he's going to expect you to trust him in the middle of it. I can assure you and promise you that if you're following God, he's going to call you to believe him in radical ways, and he's going to call you to something that's very, very radical and challenging. I can assure you that if you're trusting God and you're growing and you're a disciple of Jesus Christ, that he's going to call you to a greater and require of you a greater amount of trust and assurance, and he's going to use circumstances that cause fear to bring that into your life. He's always going to be pulling and challenging and drawing you forward, and that whole goal of it is to take you to new territory. The whole goal of it is to move you to beyond, not just to the end of yourself, but beyond the end of yourself. Because that is where trust goes from simple trust, beyond even intentional trust, beyond even ruthless trust, to the place where we have got to trust with purity and absolute trust with him. Tomorrow we're going to conclude this whole look at fear. We're going to take a look at what fear really can be and what fear really should be. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you tomorrow. You have a great day today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Friday. Bye-bye.